Hello everyone, I'm Alex.
I'm Andy.
And with Spotify Wrapped just coming out, and it's the end of the year, all of the big award shows are happening, I think. I don't watch them. We are going to do our Materia end of the year awards, Materia Wrapped, whatever title is better for clickbait is what we're going to call it.
I'm going to act like I'm a news anchor.
Yeah. They just click their pens the whole time?
Yep.
But yeah, Andy and I are just going to be talking about the games that we played this year. These games do not have to have come out this year. I don't think any of mine did. Looking at it.
This is the list of games that came out in 2023 that we just played in 2024.
Mine is a list. They've come out at varying
Even before
times.
that, I at least chose 2023 ones.
No, I made no attempt. We're going to go through 7 categories, beginning with favorite retro game and then favorite indie game. Then we're going to talk about our least favorite game we played this year, the most surprising game, and then the big 3 at the end, our favorite console, favorite genre, and of course, favorite game. Let us know what your guys' lists for these categories would look like down in the comments. Andy's already changing an answer.
Well, I forgot to write my least favorite game.
Oh, okay.
But that's easy. It's probably a Mario Party game.
Did you play any this year?
I played a Mario Party game.
Okay.
It was bad. It's garbage.
No way.
No. All right.
All right. So, beginning with our favorite retro games, mine is Pokemon Snap. I feel like I've already brought up this game a lot on this channel, but this year was the first year I actually properly played through it. It was one of the first games I bought when I started collecting retro, because the N64 is one of the first consoles I got, and just alongside that was Pokemon Snap. So it's cool to have gone back and played it, and it really surpassed all of my expectations. Like I've said before, I just love looking at the old chunky Pokemon models and taking pictures of them. Nothing can beat it.
I was trying to work in a Pokemon Snap joke, but my brain just died, so.
It's all right.
What are we at? Retro game.
Retro game.
So
yes.
I kind of chose a game that was a retro game that had a remake this year, but I wanted to kind of put it here because this is one of my favorite retro games of all time. But the Dark Forces remake game that came out, I was super excited about that, and I definitely think it improved upon the original, graphically for sure. But I think I think the original Dark Forces has held up anyway. So yeah, Dark Forces remake is my favorite retro game.
That's also an N64 game?
No, it was not an N64. It was on PlayStation 1.
Something.
Yeah, it was PS1.
I heard of that thing.
The PS1?
Yeah. All right. Going into our favorite indie game. Mine is Weird West, made by Wolf-Eye, published by Devolver Digital. It's an awesome, kind of like a Diablo-like stealth not Midwest, Wild West game. Not a Midwest game. That'd be very different. Someone should make that.
It's a game about being in Ohio.
Yeah, you're just stuck in Ohio. You need to find your way out. But it's really awesome. It has it mixes dark fantasy and Wild West elements super well. I love games where you can sneak around and pickpocket people. I don't know what that says about me, but like Skyrim, the Weird West scratched a very similar itch of just exploring the towns, exploring the little bandit hideouts, and the story is super cool, and there's a lot of player agency within the story as to how things shake out. It's just a super awesome game. If you're into Wild West stuff or even Midwest stuff, you should definitely check this one out.
I don't have an indie game. That's the one game I didn't have.
You only play AAA.
I only play AAA first-party Nintendo games.
We'll just shut one out right now.
Well, I mean, I feel like it was games that all the indie games I played were just ones that I don't know. I've been playing for years now. I guess I don't know. I'd put Hades 2 in there. I think the Hades series is really good. I think Hades 2 came out this year, but yeah, I like those games.
Cool. Okay, we'll count it. Hades 2 is Andy's choice. I'm not sure if you've played it based on what you said, but that's fine. Okay, least favorite game. Do you want to say yours first? Let's switch it up here.
Oh, this might be controversial because I think this is actually a good game. I just didn't have any fun playing it.
Oh.
But Street Fighter 6.
Is it because you're bad?
I am bad at Street Fighter 6, yes.
Okay.
It seemed like Street Fighter 6 was going to be such a revival for the series, and I guess it has been in many ways, but I don't know. I couldn't really get into any of the new characters. I do think the art style was cool, but I don't know. It just reminded me that I'm not good at fighting games. So
my least favorite game this year also made me realize something, and that's Stray. And it made me realize why I hate modern games. Obviously, not all modern games. I play probably more modern games than retro, to be honest. It's that kind of you're following a character down a hallway and there's kind of a movie happening type of game. Except with Stray, there isn't even like that much of a cohesive story. It's like something about climate change and there's weird flesh monsters. Mostly I'm mad at this game because it's a game about being a cat and it sucks. I was excited to like do cat stuff and it was going to be awesome. And like there is an occasional moment like that where you can like scratch a rug or something. But for most of the game, you're just talking to like these robot guys that tell you to go talk to a different robot guy so you can get a thing and then you talk to the next one and it's just that you're running around. There's not true platforming. Like you have to go up to a ledge and then it'll say like press A to jump and then you jump onto the next ledge if it lets you. Like it's just literally no player agency at all and it just wasted an opportunity being a game where you're a cat and not being good.
That's going to get a lot of comments.
Maybe. I mean, Stray, people reacted to it well when it first came out, but I feel like I don't think there's much lasting love for it. But for our next category, most surprising game, I guess you should go first again.
Most surprising game for me was actually, I put Astro's Playroom, which I know is a game that's been out for like 4 or 5 years.
Hey, mine's been out for longer.
But I just got a PS5 this year. I was like holding off for so long. I don't know why, because I couldn't get one. Or I don't know. I was actually waiting for the Slim model, which I actually like a lot. But yeah, I thought everyone had been talking about Astro's Playroom, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And I was like, yeah, when you get a PS5, download it. But that game really is awesome, and I'm looking forward to playing the new Astrobot game. I just don't want to pay $60 for it.
No, so I'm in the same category, waiting for it to get a price drop or something. All right, my most surprising game, slightly older. It's Rhapsody 2. I think this is a PS1 RPG, but it has like a double pack on the Switch, which everyone, I don't care if you buy it or not, but it's, I don't know, this game, I generally struggle to finish JRPGs a lot of the time. I think this one being like 22 to 25-ish hours definitely helped with that, just it's not super long. But it's like, before I played this game, the world of musicals and the world of video games hadn't even like connected in my brain. I didn't think that was like a thing you could do. So that the fact that this was a musical video game, it was just so fun. It's so camp, and like the overall story is just really charming and cute, and it's just about like growing up and going out, classic JRPG stuff. You toot a little horn to attack. In reality, like if you compared like the mechanics of this game to its contemporaries, it's just kind of like another JRPG. But, it has that NIS thing of just having a super fun world, super fun characters. It's just very charming, and they sing songs in it. And I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. We're going on to the big three. What's your favorite console of this year?
I'm going to say PS5. I was super stoked to get one. I thought it was just going to be like a beefed up PS4, which I guess it kind of is in some ways.
That is what it is.
But I don't know. I like it. I like it, everything about it, and it loads my favorite game real fast.
Astro's Playroom.
Astro's Playroom. It loads it real fast.
So my favorite console is definitely not my most played of this year. My most played would probably be the Switch, and then the PS4 would come in. I mean, it was on my PS5, but the PS4 would be the close second, and almost was the one I chose because I did play that console like a ton more than I have since I've had it this year. But I chose the N64. I think just because this year really cemented my love for the N64 when compared to other retro consoles. All the other ones suck. No, I'm kidding. I obviously like all the retro consoles pretty much. But there's just something very special about the N64. And, when you're going back to these old consoles, it sticks out in a way that really no other old consoles do. And that's just very special as someone who didn't grow up with these consoles. Obviously, also Pokemon Snap. I did that this year, so that's huge points in its favor. I also played like Banjo for the first time this year. I didn't beat it. I probably got like halfway through it so far, but that's an awesome game. I got a lot of games I've been waiting to get for a long time on the N64 this year, like the 2 Goemon games. Super hyped to play those. And yeah, this console is it's awesome, and everyone should own one.
Best controller ever made.
Yes, and the controller is perfect. That's the best thing about it. What's your favorite genre of this year?
My favorite genre of this year is my favorite genre of every year. Role-playing games. The ones I gravitate towards the most are always RPGs, so I just have to go with that.
Makes sense. So, I chose platformer. Somehow there's not a single platformer I mention on this list. But among the games I have played and loved this year, a lot of them are platformers. There's like Rayman Legends, Yoshi's Woolly World, Little Big Planet, Celeste, like 12 different Kirby games. Those are all games I played and beat this year and really loved. Yeah, I don't think any of those games became my standout because platformer is such like a comfort genre. Like, I'm not going to get attached to a platformer even if I really love it as much as I'd get attached to like a JRPG or something, just because it doesn't have that kind of level of personal input. But in reality, I probably spend close to, if not more, time playing platformers than I do playing like JRPGs and stuff, just because they are that type of game that I just like to go to and progress through. And yeah, I don't know, Rayman Legends and Yoshi's Woolly World were also very close to being my favorite game of this year. So shout out to those games. They didn't make it to my number one spot, but we'll get into that after Andy, you reveal your favorite game of this year.
Well, I thought you were going to say Walking Sims was your favorite
genre. I love those, yeah. My
favorite game of the year, I picked two. Cause I picked one that came out this year and one that came out previously.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the one that came out previously because it truly is my favorite game. Elden Ring. That was the reason why I got a PS5. I know you can play it on other systems, but I wanted to wait and play it on a PS5, not on my PS4. So when they first announced it, I didn't think the Dark Souls formula would work in open world, but it works so freaking well. And if I could pick one game that I could just spend playing for the rest of my life and be happy, it would be Elden Ring. So I feel like all my choices are boring and predictable.
No. Dark Forces,
yeah.
I mean, Street Fighter 6 being your least favorite game is not super predictable.
I thought of another least favorite game.
If you want to shout it out,
Unicorn Overlord. I was super disappointed in that game. I really, 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 really wanted it to be so good because I'm a huge Vanillaware fan, but that game just didn't get its teeth in me.
I'll play it soon. I know I've heard people that like it. So we'll see. Soon, relatively. But my favorite game is also a game that made a huge splash, similar to Elden Ring. Everyone's been talking about it. I'm sure you've all played it. It's Digimon Survive, which is weird because I almost didn't play this game because it is mostly a visual novel. And then when I did play it, I was like, I'll just skip all the dialogue and I'll play the strategy RPG parts. And then that's how I'll play this game. If you do that, you're not going to like this game. The strategy RPG is like kind of mid at best. I mean, it works and like you get to interact with Digimon, but there's nothing like super enticing about its play style. Like Fire Emblem and Disgaea's like strategy RPG gameplay are miles ahead of it. But you do get to talk to Agumon for like 35 hours. And that's awesome. Like, genuinely, this story does kind of do that classic thing of there's maybe a little too many ideas going into it, and it's a little vague about its, like, the kind of, like, psychoanalysis, psychology stuff it's trying to get across with Digimon being, like, basically personas or something. It all comes back to Persona. That being said, the thing that always makes Digimon stand out is its character writing to me, and the characters come across so well in this game, and because of that thing of like the Digimon are like reflections of the people that they chose or whatever, you get to get a lot of depth in these characters through how their Digimon present themselves and interact with the world, and then of course how the characters themselves interact with the world. I genuinely did not expect myself to enjoy the visual novel aspects of this game as much as I did, but it kept me hooked for like 35 hours, which a lot of games can't do. So yeah, that's my favorite game of this year.
If Pikachu didn't want to be a Pokemon anymore, could he like leave camps and go become a Digimon?
You'd have to get a few guns taped to him or something, and then he could be a Digimon.
He might be okay with that.
Yeah, maybe. I had some other point I wanted to make.
Yeah, I had a point too.
Yes.
A bunch of really good games just came out like in the last few weeks, and I haven't had a chance to play them. Yeah.
List your games. I'm going to see what games I own that came out this year.
Yeah. Sonic Shadow Generations, I want to play.
I definitely want to play
the Metal Slug Tactics game, I really want to play. The Dragon's Quest 3 remake, whatever, I want to play. Yeah.
Those all seem cool. Okay, what did I get that came out this year? The Patrick Star game. Have you heard of it? There's a Patrick Star game. I bought that recently. It's like Goat Simulator, but you're Patrick Star.
That makes sense.
Maybe that's my favorite game of the year. What did I get that I've played none of these games? Sick. This is what I have from this year.
I'm looking for something embarrassing to reveal.
There's nothing.
Dave the Diver. I want to play that game.
I do want to play Dave the Diver. That came out. I don't think it came out this year, but it came out physically this year.
2 years ago.
All right, so I have literally not played a single game that came out this year, so I don't know.
Stop making video games, people.
Yeah, I have a lot to catch up on. But yeah, like I said, let us know what your winners for these categories would be. Let us know what other video topics you want us to cover. Join our Patreon. We have deals starting at $1 a month, and we have a lot of ideas for the future for our Patreon, and it is the best way to support us and making these videos and our physical location. We appreciate you watching. Have a good end of the year. Thank you.
And if you want us to convert this channel into a Digimon channel,
yes,
let us know.
Let us know. I could do it.